Good morning, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. I got my tea. I'm ready to rock and roll. We're going to do a Divine Feminine check-in because it feels like it's been a while. So let's see what the collective feminine is moving through. I'm wondering if I should put a disclaimer at the beginning of all of these videos that really we listen for both energies, right? We all have the masculine and feminine energy within, and sometimes one is more dominant in our narrative than the other, right? Yes, we can say that, I would even say for myself that I live in a more dominant feminine flow. However, it's also my responsibility to take accountability for what my inner masculine is moving through. Okay, feminines. Beautiful, beautiful teaching and learning. Yeah, this is the feminine work, right? So maybe feminines are stepping into, okay, we have love here. All right. Anything else? Before I open my mouth, let me get it all out. We have poppers. Oh God, this is so funny. All right, so feminine reading is mirroring the masculine reading. That was too many. Spirit, can you be more precise, please? Thank you so much. Deep breaths, everybody. Let's ground. Individuality. Okay. Is that what that says? Yes, individuality at the root. Okay, feminines, you are being called to trust your sexuality, to trust your feeling of safety within your own body and mind. You are being called to trust in the frequency and intuition that is emanating from you. You are being called to step into deeper self-love so that you can step into this divine role as the teacher, as the one who embodies what she has learned and then exemplifies that for humanity. I didn't look, but let's look. What's in the unconscious position? Yeah, relationship change in reverse. So, God, this could be a hard message. I don't want to put that out into the universe, but, it's just the reality of the twin flame path. Let me take a sip let me gather myself. Okay. Feminines, for some of you, you are holding too tightly to some sort of relationship dynamic. Sure. Could this be the person you perceive as your twin? Absolutely. You could be holding... Okay, let me say it like this. I invite you, divine feminines, to look within your own heart, to feel into where you are still attached and who you're still attached to or what you're still attached to. So often, if our jobs are to get our energy in present time and maintain the frequency of love in present time, in real time, as we navigate this three-dimensional field, it is up to us to... I was going to say the word cauterize, but that feels so aggressive. And this is the second reading that word. Do you know what cauterize means? I always think of like war battles. If a soldier gets wounded on the battlefield and, they have a bleeding wound, oftentimes they will cauterize the wound so it stops bleeding. They take a really hot blade or hot metal of some sort and they literally burn the veins and the whatever else is bleeding. They literally burn the wound so it closes it up. And sometimes that's the only choice we have. That's the only choice. It's between survival and this horrific thing, this experience. But it's like, okay, these are your choices. What are you going to do, feminines? And so there's something here, there's certain... Now, I'm not just saying it's people, right? Yes, absolutely. Those are probably the primary things you're going to think about in your life. But, it could also be your relationship to certain ideas that you've been keeping alive for your entire journey. Things that no longer serve you in the present moment. Are you still mad about that thing that happened in high school? Are you still, ornery about, what your friend said to you in middle school? Are you holding out Are you holding on to a lot of anger and resentment because of how your ex treated you, or your old boss, or your old coworker? It doesn't matter who it is. Your only job, feminines, is to make a very clear, acute assessment over what's pulling your energy out of present time. You have to remember, the goal is to get the energy in present time. And I know I've said it like 10 times in this reading, but what does that actually look like? That looks like you being able to show up to a moment, to a connection with someone, to discipline, to new patterns of moving through the world, to your soul mission, to your mission work, to your job, to your whatever it is. It's you being able to show up to life, and you have all of your faculties with you. All of your resources are available to you. It's like you get to roll up to life with a full gas tank at all moments, right? Like if you are still upset at your mother from that thing she said to you when you were 13 years old, a quarter of your tank of gas is being spent there. And then if you're worried about your future, or worried about your finances, or if you have a lot of fear in your system, a quarter of a tank of gas goes there. And then you're left with only half a tank. Now, how far can you get with half a tank? It's going to look different for everybody, because we all have different thresholds and our sizes of gas tanks are different, right? But we all can agree that we all don't get as far with half a tank as we would with a full tank of gas. Okay, beautiful feminines. I just realized they're stopping me because I just said that about feeling of safety, right? That's more root chakra stuff. So feminines, a huge chunk of your work right now, or what's blocking your work, or what's blocking peace right now, is your lack of embracing your way, lack of embracing who you are, what lights you up, and specifically how you do things in this world, how you teach, how you learn. It might not be how everyone else learns. Maybe you have to, touch, taste, feel, experience, dive in head first, cannonball into the deep end to learn something. Not everyone could sit in a lecture hall for 3 hours and learn and actually absorb. Some people are visual learners. Some people are auditory. Some people need to embody the lesson. And so it doesn't matter what your path is, feminines, but you're being called to call all of these pieces of yourself that you've given away. All of these moments in life where you said, they do it better, they know better, my way is never going to work. I would never be able to do that. All these moments where you doubt how you do things, specifically how you do things. Feminines, you're being called to trust your root chakra. Trust in your grounding in who you are. They're asking me to refine that. Trust that it is safe to ground in who you are and how you do things. I'm feeling tears welling up. I honor how difficult this has been for the feminines, because we all grew up in a society that has $1 trillion industry and $1 trillion invested, more than that probably, invested in telling us that we're not good enough, telling us that what we're doing, how we're doing it, how we look like doing it is wrong, is bad, is not good. So buy our products, right? There's so much riding on us loving ourselves, because the systems and infrastructures that have been built in this patriarchal, imbalanced society serves that, right? They have such a big investment in our insecurities. They have such a big investment in keeping us in fear and scarcity and limited, right? Because they can control. Sorry, I sound like I'm inciting everyone to rise up and revolt, but in essence, energetically, I kind of am. There's something here around reclaiming your energy, even if that's just in your little, hearts. We start where we are. We start within our own bodies. We trust ourselves. We use our voices. We speak our truth. We show up as an authentic version of self, because only that authentic version of self is going to be able to learn something. When we show up to life with masks on, we're playing a part, right? We're dressing how we think we should dress. We're doing what we think we should do. And you're not really gaining soul lessons that way. You're just gathering more rejection, more abandonment, right? When you put a mask on to cover who you are, there is a part of you energetically and physically that's abandoning who you are, right? You're abandoning the part of yourself that feels called to a certain way of being in the world. That's your work, feminines, to call your spirit back from places it doesn't belong and to step into that level of self-love, self-acceptance, and claim that sovereignty, claim that divine revelation. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Where do we go? I'm just going to go big. I don't have a lot of time right now, so we're going to go right to the ginormous message. We're going to zoom way out. Okay, beautiful. We have Seraphim's Gateway, Voice Activation, Angelic Attunement, Divine Support. We also have Crown Chakra Upgrade, Divine Connection, Holy Experiences, Miraculous Energy. That was in reverse. And then this just launched out. If I could read it, let's see. Stargate Heart Chakra Opening, Unlocking Generosity. It came out sideways. In the unconscious position, we have Fulfilling Soul Contracts, Remembering Who You Are. Yeah, it's not an accident that our two shadow cards are Relationship Change and Remembering Who You Are. So I would say more than 50% of you, I'm going to go with 63% of you listening, the relationship that has to change is the relationship you have with yourself, right? That's the protagonist of this narrative that's showing up today. Beautiful feminine. So what in your life would support you creating a better relationship with yourself? What do you really need right now that you haven't been gifting yourself? Sorry, my voice just crapped out. Hold on, let me take a sip of tea. It's not lost on me on what I was saying when that happened. Maybe the thing that you desperately need to heal the relationship you have with yourself is to open your throat chakras, to speak your truth, to communicate what you want to communicate and how you want to communicate, to let it rip, to just open that throat chakra and speak your truth. Yes, of course, grounded in love of self and love of other, but also, okay, sorry, it's taking me on, they're taking me on an acute turn. This is a caveat for a small portion of you. This is kind of a little bit of a trigger warning around, there may be a group here of feminines that are not in a position where they can safely speak their truths. I honor how hard that is. I honor how difficult that is. And I'm here to say that you are worthy to change your situation. You are completely deserving to seek the help you need, to trust in your ability to take the necessary steps to get yourself out of that situation. Ask for help from whoever and wherever you can, because you are worthy to reclaim this safety within yourself. That's all I'm going to say about that. I could do a whole reading on that, but we're not going to. Okay, Spirit, where do we go? I might keep this really short today. Let's get some animal cards. What do divine feminines need to know for the highest and best good of self and the planet? We have peacock energy, vibrancy. You were born, feminines, to shine and inspire. Practice humility to avoid jealousy. Be grateful for life and more good things will come. Be true to yourself and recognize your brilliance. This very much ties in for me with the individuality. You know how I was going to say zebras, but I feel like that's not a good analogy. You know how some patterns on certain animals are unique to them, right? Like a zebra's stripes, like there's There's no other pattern exactly the same, right? It's a unique identifier to that particular zebra, not to zebras in general, but to that particular zebra. Same with peacocks. We all think they have the same feathers, and some of them do, but I bet the way the amount of the colors, I bet the shape of, the little design, I bet each one is a little bit unique. And I'm sure that's based off of their unique gene expression or something. But again, this is inviting us to acknowledge our individuality, to no longer see it, feminines, as a liability, but an asset. To really, who's that actress that was on? She's the actress, the English actress from White Lotus with the really cute big front teeth. And she's doing a press tour right now. And she's like, my whole life I was bullied and insecure about these big front teeth. And yet I never changed them because I didn't. And now people like adore her big front teeth. Like they think they're so cute. And, she has all these people all over the world talking about her front teeth. Imagine what that experience is like for her to go from being bullied her whole life. I'm going to cry actually. To be being bullied her whole life for this one quality that she has, this one trait that she has, and now she's being exalted for it. So while of course that might feel very lovely to receive all of that adulation and, praise and whatever, it just goes to show you that we should not be attached or plugged into any external system of validation, because it changes. Right? Life keeps going and culture changes and what's cool changes. Like at one point, Kate Moss, that skinny, waif, super thin physique was like, the number one way to be in the world. And then, the Kardashians happened and J-Lo came first. Let me adjust that. But you know what I mean? And then this much more curvy, voluptuous body type came into fashion. And it just goes to show you that it's all BS. It's all crap. So instead of waiting for the society to catch up, stand in your own glory, feminines. Reclaim that vibrancy. Reclaim what makes you unique. Okay, and then we also have, I would have died, by the way, if Zebra came out, but it didn't. We have Hawk, the messenger. Spirit is sending you messages. Open your greater vision to see the signs. Focus on priorities and eliminate distractions. You have a bright future. Let yourself ascend to new heights. Okay, what's screaming for me from this card is let yourself ascend to new thoughts. Right? We all have that base, that we all can go down to the basement of ourselves, the basement of the psyche, the darkness, the dampness, the shadowy versions of self. We all have had those moments. I have to assume that we've all had those moments where we're thinking the worst case scenario, we're catastrophizing, we are doubting our abilities and our skills and our talents. Maybe there's a little imposter syndrome arriving. We all have had those moments where we doubt everything. You are being called to recognize your wings, feminines, to understand that you have the tools to ascend to greater thoughts. Take care of your interior castle. Take care of what's going on within your temple, quite literally between your temples, right? Your brain, your connection to source. Love yourself the way Source loves you. Honor your divinity and step into your divine truth. Whew, this message is very beautiful today. The way it's unfurling like a lotus. It's just very clear, very direct. And I sort of love, that's when we can have shorter readings. We don't have to sit here for an hour, even though those serve their purpose too. Okay, so we have Polar Bear, Mystic. Know that challenges, feminines, make you stronger. Have faith when you face adversity. Take time to rest, dream, and renew your strength. Embrace your psychic abilities. You carry the shaman within. Now, for those of you who don't know, a shaman is like a medicine man or a medicine woman. It's one who exists between worlds. It's one who can, a healer in essence, that can go venture to the spirit world to correct what's going on that's showing up in the physical world, right? If someone in the village is sick or has an illness or something, and, all of the conventional medicine isn't working, it might be an energetic or spiritual illness or blockage or trauma that's happening in 5D, in the realm of energy, in the realm of spirit. And a shaman can actually travel to those realms. And some can do it on their own. Some use different plant medicines to get there. Some have different, guides or spirit guides to escort them to the spirit realm. But feminines, you have this ability to access your spiritual truth within you right now. There's nothing you have to do. There's no certification you have to get, no degree. There's nothing outside of yourself that you need to excavate your psychic ability, to excavate your deep, deep, beautiful, divine intuition and wise discernment. Beautiful. In the I laugh because in the unconscious position, we have the loon, the intuitive, right? Remember, the unconscious position is what we are pushing away. It's what we're pushing into the shadows, and we don't want to look at it in the light, so we push it into the shadows. It says, intuitive, listen to the song in your soul, feminines. Trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Recognize that you are a unique individual and that you are loved. Feminines, one of the reasons why we push away our wisdom is because once we truly embrace that wisdom, it usually asks us to take action. And that can be really scary, right? Because if we finally understand what's going on, then no one else is responsible for it except for us. And then we have to step into that divine, exalted version of self, the powerful version of self, the rooted version of self, to take radical accountability for our circumstances, right? We're pushing this into the shadows because it keeps us in the role of victim. It keeps us powerless. It keeps us in these cycles that keep our spirit down, that, someone would even call it a demon. So I don't know why that's coming in, but, in these circles, you hear people use the word demon. Now, I rarely use that word, demon or demonic. For me, that just means a negative thought. A negative thought is a demon. It's any entity that sucks you into dark thinking. It's any energy that pulls you away from the light and yanks you into darkness. So for those of you that resonate, maybe some of you needed to hear that word, that you might have a demonic entity attached to you. It might be a version of self that you have to let go. The version of self that doesn't think you can do it, that speaks negatively about you, that thinks you have to be a certain height, weight, hair color, have a certain amount of money in the bank, have a certain amount of, notoriety and popularity to do these things. Those are all demonic thoughts. Those are all, thoughts that pull you away from your true core frequency. Okay. No, I'm not going to take these because they came flying out later. Okay, let's get some affirmation cards and call it a day. Okay, what do feminines need to know? What do feminines need to know for the highest and best good of self on the planet? What would support them in hearing in this precise moment? What do they need to know? Oh, we have an explosion. Okay, let's check it out. We have today is a good day. Let's read it here. Greet each day with an attitude of appreciation for the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. Proclaim that no matter what happens, you will make the best of this singular and unique day. Believe wholeheartedly that everything will work in your favor, and it will. Set the tone by affirming today is a good day. This also circles back to speak into what I invited in the beginning around feminines getting your energy in present time. If you wake up and and yesterday was a really bad or tough or challenging day, and you wake up dreading today, you are bringing all of the baggage from yesterday into today. It is up to you to create sacred, radical, divine boundaries around what happened yesterday. Can you forgive yourself and other for what happened? Can you completely let it go and cauterize the wound so that it's not bleeding into today? Can you do that? That is your work. Today is a good day. What else do we have? We have the universe is my biggest fan. It's so funny. I feel like we got the masculines got some of these. Okay, this is another card about feminine intuition and listening to your true north. Lean in, feminines, on the inner knowing that the universe has your back and will support your wildest dreams. The universe wants to see you win and is cheering you on every step of the way. The vibrations you emit, I'm getting emotional. The vibrations you emit will reflect back onto your life. Remember, we started being called out, feminines, with this higher responsibility of the frequency of the energy we put out in the world, of the energy we put into ourselves. And then we have, I trust my journey. Move forward in life with the certainty that you are on a journey, feminines, headed towards your highest self, your most exalted self. When you hold steadily to your vision, understand that reaching the final destination will be worth it. The roadmap of life is ever changing and leading you towards your destiny. Beautiful reading, feminines. I'm going to leave it there. I hope this was supportive. And wait, hold on. Okay. I just had to look. I was about to close the reading, but okay. In the unconscious positions, we have this, I recognize synchronicities. It says the universe is speaking to you, so pay attention. Patterns, coincidences, and serendipity are all signs of recognition, motivation, and support that you are making progress on your life. Remember, this is what you're pushing away. Why are you pushing away the nods from the universe? The universe, you have to remember, the universe, the quantum field is in constant vibration. It is responding to our vibration. It is in constant communication with us all the time. It's up to you to recognize when the universe is communicating to you. And just to give you a little some practical tips on how to do that. Anytime you think, oh, that's funny, that reminds me of this, or, oh, that's so weird that this song came on the radio, it always reminds me of this person or this time in my life. Those are not accidents. Those are bids for affection and communication from the universe. Lean in. When you see a synchronicity, when you recognize it, lean in. Write it down for later if you don't have time to really think about it. And you can even ask the universe, show me what is important about this memory, about this thing I just said. If you've been watching me for a while, I've been modeling how I do that. Like when you hear me cough or something, I'm like, oh, throat chakra, what's moving, what's not being said? What do you need to communicate? This has become second nature to me. I see an animal, I hear a song on the radio, I see someone I haven't seen in years in the store, and I start thinking about that time in my life and then that memory, and then boom, oh, I got the missing puzzle piece that I needed all along. It's time to wake up, feminines, and trust your divine gifts. There's so much being communicated to you all the time. It's up to you to open your sensory system to receive it. Beautiful. Gonna leave it there. I hope this was supportive, and I will see you in the next one.